Welded connection. So welding is the procedure of joining two metal portions in a molten state with or without pressure. Electric arc welding is commonly used. Part of metal to be welded is melted by using electric arc or oxyacetylene flame along with a weld rod. Arc heat will melt both the metal part and the rod at the same time. Fusion happens as welding rod materials flows across the arc. Welding rod use may be shielded or unshielded. So the welded connection advantages. Joint efficiency is 100%. Fabrication and difficult structure is easy. Silence prevails during process, even though small sounds is heard during oxyacetylene welding when compared to riveting. No safety precautions are needed. Welding process is much faster. Welding process is much economical. This method always provides rigid joints. Minimum self-weight for structure. So welded connection disadvantages. Since welding is a hot process involving in non-uniform heating and cooling, structural members will be subjected to distortion resulting in more unwanted stress. Welded structures are subjected to cracks due to non-provision of expansion and contraction. Very high labor costs since skilled labor is required. Checking and verification of welding work is very difficult. Structure may be subjected to fatigue and susceptible to failure by cracking under repeated cyclic loads. Tearing of base metal plate may occur beneath the weld known as lamellar tearing. So shielded type improves the quality of work. So these are the type of welds. Two commonly used types are fillet weld and butt groove weld. So fillet weld, so used for lap joints when two plates overlap each other. So number 2, when a truss member is required to connected to a gusset plate. 3, when there is eccentric bracket connection. So when plates are joined to form beams. So mo na ang case A in plane moment o case B out of plane moment. Welds are used to connect web plate with flange plate and also to connect flange to flange plates. Lacing and battering connection in columns. So monolith. Welded connection in tubular trusses. So size of weld. The size of fillet weld shall not be less than 3 mm. The minimum size of the first run or of a single run fillet weld shall be as given in table 21 to avoid the risk of cracking in the absence of preheating. So this is the table 21. So fillet welds terminating at the ends or sides of parts should be returned continuously around the corners for the distance of not less than twice the size of the weld, unless it is impractical to do so. This is particularly important on the tension end of parts carrying bending loads. In the case of lap joints, the minimum lap should not be less than 4 times the thickness of the thinner part joint or 40 mm, whichever is more. Single and fillet should be used only when lap parts are restrained from openings. One end of an element is connected only by parallel longitudinal fillet welds. The length of the weld along either edge shouldn't be less than the transverse spacing between longitudinal welds. So minimum lap is greater than 40 up to or 40 mm, whichever is more. So where B equals transverse spacing between longitudinal welds. So the effective length of fillet weld shall be taken as only that length which is of the specified size of and required through thickness. In practice, the actual length of weld is made of the effective length shown in drawing plus 2 times the weld size, but not less than 4 times the size of the weld. So in the sites, 1 actual equals 1 effect plus 2 times S, where S equals size of weld, but 1 actual is greater than 4S. So the clear spacing between the effective lengths of intermittent Philly weld shall not be exceed 12 and 16 times the thickness of thinner plate joined for compression and tension joint respectively, and enoches be more than 200 mm. Enoches be more than 200 mm, so clear spacing should be less than 200 mm. So design strength of the pulley weld based on this throat area. Design strength of pulley weld is P of WD equals F, and so on. A smaller of ultimate stress of weld or of parental metal. So where a pulley weld is applied to a square edge of a part, the specified size of the weld should generally be at least 1.5 mm less than the edge thickness in order to avoid washing down of the exposed areas. So where the pulley weld is applied to the rounded two of a rolled section, the specified size of the weld should generally not exceed 3/4 of the thickness of the section of the two. Now see the figure 17b. So muna siya.